Good afternoon. Welcome to Camping with Wade's RV, 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Skyler Cooper.
And I'm Willie D.
Live in the studio this afternoon. A beautiful Saturday. Look at that screen right there, Willie D. That is our only window into the outside world from this studio, but I'm glad it's there because it's beautiful. It's so warm today. It's nice.
It's nice. I would say the term probably would be picture perfect, and this is a great example of that.
Yeah, picture and picture and picture and picture. There's like 9 screens of outside.
Yeah, and we even got weather. I mean, we're doing pretty good over here.
That shot of downtown is my favorite, but from every angle, it looks really good today. And I hope you're outside having some fun. If you're out driving around right now, I've been meaning to just take a drive.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fun thing to do. I know gas is kind of cheap right now. I filled up for $1.89 yesterday.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I'm going to do whenever we actually leave the studio is I'm going to head up to OKC. My favorite thing to do is drive those Class Bs around because, if I find a cool little spot to pull over, check out, a scene, or there's lots of different historical sites just on the roads, it seems like, in all these Oklahoma little small towns. So maybe go over to the stockyards and get me a steak over at Cattleman's, and you can always, wash up beforehand, wash up afterwards, and go out and have some fun afterwards, and you have your whole house on the road. So I'm going to jump in one of those and head up to OKC when we get done here.
Wash up is probably, that should be a hashtag right now.
Oh, yeah. I
Wash
think
up everything. I don't even want to touch the mics. Like I'm in a bubble, Bryce, right? You see this invisible bubble around me?
Perfect. I'm not using any of that Germex. I'm just carrying around a can of Lysol and just, showering in it every day.
I mean, it is one of those things that you're thinking about right now, especially after the news yesterday. So,
of course.
But we won't get too deep in that because we want to talk about crawfish boil. We want to talk about how Wade's RV is expanding. If you have questions about camping or RVs, text us. 95920 is the phone number. Just use Peril. I saw that. Or you can call us 918-460-KRMG, 460-5764. If you have questions about your RV or buying a new one, Willie D's probably got the answer. So give us a call or text us. And if you want to get a hold of Wade's RV, it's 918-291-1011. They can find you right down 75.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're located at 161st and Highway 75 or at 121st and Highway 75. As always, that's our big service center where we got that big giant lift. And if you do happen to scratch your RV, we'll get you all taken care of. We got a big full body paint shop in there. So, if you have a little one or if you did scratch all the way down your unit, which does happen time to time, we can get you taken care of as well.
Tell me about this crawfish boil you had. I'm interested because I, for the first time in my life, was in Louisiana at Thanksgiving. So I'm wondering what mirrors here.
Man, I learned so much during this crawfish boil. So we had some customers, and we had Rocky from Riverstone on a couple weeks ago, and they bought that Riverstone that we were talking about, and that was featured actually at the show. So they had to come from Louisiana and come pick it up. We do deliver RVs. That's kind of a cool thing that we do at Wade's RV. So I have customers that live all over the United States, and let's say they don't have time or it's just a little bit of an inconvenience, we can always ship it to you. But they chose to drive up to Oklahoma. And so Vince, while he was helping them out, that's one of our salesmen, he asked him to bring some crawfish, and we were going to do a crawfish boil. And so they brought, live crawfish. Being an Okie, that hasn't been really something I've been able to experience necessarily. It's kind of like you just go to Reese's and you grab a bag of crawfish. And I've learned that is not the thing to do. I've been told, I was very much scorned about that practice.
To their credit, they do a good job of getting as fresh as they can.
Yes.
But nothing beats actual,
crawling out of the basket crawfish.
Now, that being said, I wouldn't touch this stuff because I don't eat fish.
Okay, yeah, but hey, I'll take your portion. Don't worry about that. Go. But yeah, I learned that traditionally I've been doing it all wrong before. I just kind of threw them in the seasoning and let them all boil up. And I had a big enlightening moment. I guess what you have to do is you actually start out with just a water boil, and it does this big purge. And so it'll clean out the crawfish, get all the mud out of them and everything. Also get all the nasty stuff out of it as well. And once you do that and you get your boil done for about 7 to 8 minutes, then you'll take them over and you'll put them actually in the seasoning, and you'll let them sit for 10 to 20 minutes, just depending on how spicy you want them. And if you want to see what the crawfish boil was about, we're going to have that video out first part of next week. So make sure you're checking out the Facebook and the YouTube and the Instagram and all that good stuff.
That'll be fun. I know that there are places around town that do this style of food, Cajun food and Louisiana-based things, but my girlfriend is from New Orleans.
Okay.
Sort of. She spent like half her life there.
Yeah.
And it is she just can't even like fathom going to anything in Tulsa, even though we may have some pretty decent ones. Yeah. She's like, nope, not the same. Don't care.
And that's kind of what I've heard. So if you guys listening out there have any good recommendations, I got really hooked on all this Cajun food. So text in your recommendation, because I'm going to have to go try it out this week. I've got quite the craving for it. But it was pretty cool. And what they were telling me is why they chose to come to Wade's RV is there's a lot of different places out there in between Louisiana and Oklahoma that sell the Riverstones. And they made a really big point about how much Vince took care of them through the process and went the extra mile and really went and worked for them. They make a good point. You know, if you're buying a $100,000 plus fifth wheel, you want good service. It doesn't matter if you're buying a $10,000 trailer or motorhome. You're going to get the same service at Wade's RV, but that's not the same everywhere. So a lot of times people just think, hey, come in here, you want to buy this. Sometimes people need to learn about a unit and they want some more information and they want it taken care of. They want a very seamless process that's going to be easy start to finish, and that's exactly what Vince delivered, and he gave them great customer service, and they were saying that time and time again, and that's something that's kind of cool. And what I thought was cool was just during the middle of the week, we essentially had a Wade's RV camp out. So they came down, and guess what? They didn't have somewhere to stay, so we have those great demo pads up front, and that's where they stayed. And I was telling Wade, I said, man, this, it feels like we're outside camping. So it was a pretty cool experience. Everyone was gathered around, and we were just cooking. Everyone was laughing, having a good time, and that's just part of the Wade's RV experience.
Yeah, it's worth driving somewhere for good experience, especially like you said, spending that kind of money. Mm-hmm. I've done it. It was a four-wheeler, and it was only like an hour drive, but their place is closer. And Absolutely. There's reasons to go where you want to go. So I can understand that. Do you know what part of Louisiana they came from?
I don't. I didn't get I'm sure they told me, but it slipped my mind. But yeah, they traveled for, quite some distance. I think they told us it took them about a day's worth of travel.
Right. So it's I drove to New Orleans and back, and it was about 11 hours. Mm-hmm. And in a nice vehicle, but, I bet on their way home, they were living it up.
Oh, they're definitely living it up. They have some family here in Oklahoma, so they were going to stay over the weekend, but driving it home, they were already just super ecstatic. They really love the LSU Tigers, so I had to get a lot of different camera shots of all their LSU gear. And they said crawfish had something to do with the win, so I guess I'm gonna have to make sure I eat a lot of crawfish so I get big and strong. But that's just one example. People come from all over the place. Myself personally, I have customers that are from Alaska, Colorado, Florida. I don't really have anyone over on the East Coast that I know of, but people come from all over the place to come to Wade's RV, and it's for that experience, the home, feeling whenever you walk in the door, and the pat on the back, and just knowing that you're going to be taken care of.
How do you think they find you? Is it just research online?
A lot of times people are, they're looking around for the best deal, and Wade's RV, because we do buy so much of this product, we're able to get a, better deal on it. If you just go to a mom and pop convenience store, guess what? You're probably going to pay a little bit more for your sweet tarts than if you go to QT. And so with that, a lot of times people are just based looking on price, and starting there, a lot of people go straight to Wade's RV. And then once they start calling around, because a lot of companies, they have bait and switch tactics, and so they might post a price, but it might be for your unit that was already sold or conveniently is gone whenever you get there, and that's not the case at Wade's RV. So through process of elimination, they see it's kind of you're fighting to win that medal and win their business, and I'm proud to say we do it more times than not.
Did you tell them about the radio show because they could listen on their way home?
And, I did, yeah. So hopefully they're listening right now, and they had their family come out, so it was even more like a camping experience out there. So I thought it was pretty cool. We're actually expanding on, so we have those 3 demo pads up at the front. We're actually building on our back 40. It's literally our back 40. We're building a whole bunch more of our storage units, so then we're going to have lots more storage, and then we're going to be building more demo pads, and we're going to have a pond out there. So those people that are traveling from out of state, they're going to be able to take advantage of, coming out and hanging out with the Wade's RV family and crew.
Now, you guys have a lot of that going on. We'll talk more about that when we come back from the break. It's Camping with Wade's RV on KRMG. If you have questions about RVs, you need something fixed on yours, anything on your mind, give us a text, 95920, or call 918-460-KRMG. Willie D will have the answer. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. I'm Skyler Cooper with Willie D. Enjoying this Saturday afternoon, and we've been talking about the crawfish boil, some of the fun stuff that you guys have been doing in the last week. I love the culture down there because yeah, you're a business and you're selling RVs and it's like a for-profit thing and it's a business, but you always have fun.
We always have fun. We're focused on the family atmosphere and just having a good time, really, at the end of the day. But we are there to do business, and I think that's why we have such a successful business model, is because we're focused on the people and we're focused on having a good time, but, you know, also being down to business at the same time. So it's like you're, you know, at a family gathering and you're just having fun. So
it really takes everybody's walls down and just makes it a much better experience.
Yeah, no one comes in there stressed out, and if they leave stressed out, they got some serious problems because, you know, we're a very relaxing atmosphere and everyone just has a good time over there, and they're just really welcoming. And even, I mean, just from the time you walk in the door, our receptionist, they're just there to help and make sure that you're getting pointed in the right direction. It's kind of like the center hub, you know, do you need parts? Do you need service? Do you need sales? And they'll get you hooked up with exactly who you need.
So I know Wade has been building this business for a number of years, and it just keeps growing. You talked about expanding in your back 40. How has that trajectory looked?
So every single year, it's been amazing. I've been working over there for about 3 or 4 years. I lose track of time. We had an HR meeting, and they asked me what year I started, and I had no clue. I tell them they're going to have to drag me out. I'm moving offices again, and it's getting to where I'm getting in the rotation. I've used almost every office in the building. So I've been there for a little bit of time, and every year we make these really cool expansions, and you never quite know what it's going to be. I think it's really what we need at the time. And so right now we've had our storages all filled up for quite some time, and we need to make more. And so Wade did the groundbreaking back there, and he's been building on to our, you know, lot and making those storage compartments. But here, since I started back in the old days, I guess, we didn't even have the back offices where I've had my offices, where we have the studio, where we have the finance offices and stuff like that. That wasn't ever there. That's where we actually kept the golf carts. So that was pretty cool. We've added more concrete onto the front. We added those pads, like I said, more asphalt everywhere. And then we've also expanded onto the shop. So we've actually added on another 4 bays, I believe. And so that's just allowed us to do so much more work over there at the actual Supercenter location. We keep getting more and more tools. Like I've said in the past, we have that tire changing machine, and I can't wait to see where things go next year. You know, we're going to get that wrapped up, and then I'm sure there's going to be a new project, but it just depends on what we need. We're over in that back lot. We're actually using that for overflow because we are getting so much new inventory. We have 2 new brands that we picked up in the last month. So it's just getting bigger and bigger. It's incredible.
So the location up at 121st, that was the original, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yes,
so
that was
started
our
there, and then
location.
it's like, hey, we need some room.
Oh yeah. So we were doing, you know, we're focused on service. That's where we got our start and where we were founded. So that's a really big part of what we do. And we were doing so much out there. We didn't have any room for the units that we were actually selling. So Wade got the new superstore started, and actually when they got it started, it had to happen so quickly. They actually used an RV. It was a toy hauler as the office. So while we were getting the building built, we had to be out there. We had to have those units because we were expanding so fast. And it's a good problem to have. And the reason we are expanding is because we have those devout customers that keep coming back time and time again. And then those folks that will travel from out of town and come to that Wade's RV difference.
Text your questions, anything RVs, to 95920 or call us 918-460-KRMG. We do a lot of Q&A on, you know, the seasonal stuff right now. People are de-winterizing and they're heading out and they want to know where to camp. You've got a lot of great spots, and we'd actually love to hear your spots. If you're out now or got a place you want to share with us, send it to us in that text, 95920, and be part of the conversation. Talking about all the ways that Wade's RV has changed over the years with the expansion and everything. Last week and over the you know, the course of the last year or so, we've talked about the interesting ways that you guys do business when it comes to trading and everything.
Oh yeah.
And we've told the story of how he literally traded cows and got someone a good deal. So you actually, we were joking about it last week at some of those weird things, and then you got kind of an odd trade.
Yes, it happens all the time, and it's one of my favorite parts of the job is whenever someone comes in and says, hey, I got this, you want to trade for it? And I kind of just laugh because I just called their bluff because, I'm going to trade for it. But this week we had a golf cart. It was really cool. It was this black golf cart. It was lifted. It's got these off-road tires on it. I think it even has a speedometer. Wade's been keeping me off of it. I think he thinks I'm going to do donuts or something around the lot. I'm not sure. But
I would.
If he leaves me alone with it, I'm probably going to take off. It looks like it's pretty speedy. It even has seatbelts. So there's got to be a reason it has seatbelts is my thought.
That tells you something.
Yeah, so we traded for that. We also got a flatbed trailer, and that was just 2 of the trades. We've actually had some Class Bs come in, some new travel trailers, fifth wheels. We got lots of cool stuff. Every week I try to go out there and catch up with everything that has come in, and we have so many new units coming in. It's really hard to keep track of. So if you look on our website and you see something that you might like, you got to call in and check if it's there, because they go so incredibly fast.
Things really can move. So when you talk about the way that you guys are out there expanding, and are you putting in, let's talk about that back 40 area. You have the storage. We mentioned the storage last week, and people were texting in wanting to know more about that, because that's a really big value. It's not just a place to park, but it's the way you guys can maintain it and everything. Is it more of that kind of thing?
Yes. So there's going to be lots of that back there. Obviously, since it's just right behind us, we're going to be able to do those same things. And I think that's what's contributing to us having just such a big customer base. And then also we have been winning a lot of awards. The last 2 years, we've actually been voted Tulsa's best of the best RV dealership. So it's really, really cool that we've gotten those awards, and, you know, people have to vote for you. That's not a paid to play sort of deal. And Tulsa's really taken us under their wing and, you know, had us do that. We're doing different innovative things as well that's helping with that expansion. So we just have installed this new trade tool. So a lot of times people are wondering what their trade-in's worth. I have calls all day, every day of folks calling in and saying, hey, I have this in this unit. What's it worth? And a lot of times they get upset and they think it might be the dealership, you know, just giving them a false narrative. And, you know, we're using the NADA book, but now people can get on there and actually see for themselves what their trade-in's worth. And you don't even have to buy an RV. You can just get on the website and check to see exactly where your values are sitting. And it allows you to actually upload photos so we can see exactly what the condition is. And you type all of the information in, and it takes less than 60 seconds, and you get a NADA real book value, because a lot of times people don't necessarily know how to book out their RV. And so they'll call us because they do get values that are all over the place, and they're wondering, hey, what is the actual factual value of this? This is going to give that to you. So that's very, very foolproof. And if you are looking for a new RV, it's just going to set you up so then you know exactly what your trade's worth. You can go look at a lot of different units and see what's, you know, going to fit you best.
You have about a minute. Tell me how the circus was last week. You went out and did the Ringmaster thing.
Oh, it was super, super cool. So I got to go out there. They had the biggest elephant in North America. They had lions and tigers, and then the trapeze. I'd never been to a circus, and I am a devoted fan at this point in time, just because I had never been, and it just blew my mind. I was like a little kid sitting on the edge of my chair. Amanda, who runs the other shop, she goes, hey, Willie, are you enjoying the circus? And I said, are you kidding me? Look at me. I was just grinning from ear to ear. It was a super awesome experience. And the Shriners, they have a really great cause out there helping all the kids who need to get into those hospitals, but they don't have the money to afford it.
Need to take a quick break. We're going to check the news and the forecast at the bottom of the hour. You're listening to Camping with Wade's RV. You can call them at 918-291-1011 or go to wadesrv.com. If you want to join us and join the conversation, or if you have questions about RVs, camping, text us at 95920. This is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG.
Tulsa's news and talk. Join the show by calling 918-460-KRMG or text us at 95920.
Welcome back. It is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's news and talk. I'm Skyler Cooper.
And I'm Willie D.
We are living through the screen today because it's so nice outside that we have to
it's nice out there.
Check that out. Look how bright and sunny it is. It's so warm. What is the temperature right now?
You're going to have to tie me down to this chair because I'm ready to go camping.
Now, you go out and do little small trips throughout the week sometimes, right?
I love it. I go out. I try to go out every week at least once. A lot of times that doesn't happen. We get wrapped up and get busy in different things. Like this week I had a crawfish boil. So, but yeah, I try to go out as much as I can. I'm going to, whenever we get done here, we have a couple different of those Class Bs. I'm going to jump in one of those and go up to OKC and see what kind of fun I can get into. Like I said, I love going up there to Cattleman's and going up to the historic stockyard and all that sort of good stuff. So,
any questions you have about camping or RVs, anything in that world, give us a text at 95920. Willie D from Wade's RV has your answers. You can also call us, 918-460-KRMG, 460-5764. Last week, you mentioned that there is an RV that's actually let me back up. Almost all RVs, like a lot of them, are made up in Indiana.
Almost every single one of them is.
And you brought in some information last week about one that's actually built here in Oklahoma. So you have more details on that?
Yeah, so I was able to go through this week and do a complete walk around of this unit. So a lot of times you can just kind of walk through it and see a couple different things that you like. Well, I got to really go through and tear this thing apart, and I was really happy to find that there was more that I liked on it than I even originally, thought. I thought, man, this thing is really cool, and it's got so many different features, and, I just kept counting and counting and counting, and it's incredible. But if you want to check out this RV, it is made right here at home in Oklahoma. Check it out. It's an idle time made by Allen Manufacturing Company, and I have a video on YouTube. It's on the Wade's RV YouTube page, so go check it out. It's a really in-depth video. It's about 13-14 minutes, so just depends on how much you want to learn about it, but it's all there for you. It's got lots of great features for it being an aluminum-sided trailer, and let me start right here. It's less than $200 a month, so it's very, very affordable. A lot of the times we talk about that $99 a month travel trailer. This is $200 a month, and you get a fifth wheel. It's going to be about 25.5 foot long, this exact model. It's the 219 RKS, and just starting at the bottom, going up, it's got features and features. You start with the nitrogen-filled tires. It's got solid steps on there. Whenever you get into the actual unit itself, it's got a gas and electric fridge. It also has a power awning, power slides. The dinette booth, this is kind of something goofy to even talk about, but the dinette booth is incredibly awesome because I'm 6'1", and I don't hit my knees at all whenever I'm sliding in there. That's a big problem for dinette booths in RVs. If you're a taller guy, you're just, kind of shoving yourself in there like a sardine, and that's not the case with the idle time. You have great big giant windows that you can see outside and enjoy the campsite on both where your dinette booth is, and then right across from that you're going to have your couch, which is also going to make into a bed, which is super cool. It's got a nice synthetic leather memory foam in the actual cushions themselves. It's got a big drop down basin, stainless steel sink, big oven. They say you can cook a rotisserie chicken in there. I'm more of a frozen pizza Red Baron guy, so I don't know anything about that. So you got lots of good stuff in the kitchen. And then the bedroom, people very rarely talk about this, but the bedroom is really great. Couple different things. For one, it's got a TV hookup. I love watching John Wayne, so you would find me up there in the middle of the night probably watching John Wayne super late. But it also has different plugins, so you can plug in those USB ports for your cell phone. And then the bed, many RVs, whenever they come from the factory, and I tell everyone, test the bed, test the mattress, because a lot of the times they are horrible. I mean, just horrible, where you can't sleep at all. And this one has an upgraded mattress in there, so you're going to be able to have a great night's sleep. And just from the ground level, you're going to be starting with good equipment. And that's really what they pride themselves on, is making a great unit that's going to be affordable, but they're not putting a whole lot of extras. I mean, I don't know very many people that actually need a LED light strip above their shower. I mean, yeah, I guess that's cool.
Hey, it looks good.
Yeah, your shower can have, I guess it's already blue water technically, but you can have blue water coming out from everywhere. They're not going to put that sort of stuff, but you're also not going to pay for it either. So they're giving you really great equipment to start out with and making a quality unit, and it's made here in Oklahoma. So I know if I'm working on something here, I'm going to be doing a good job on it. So you can trust those Okies.
It sounds like something that a lot of people I know, they buy things because they've done their research and they find that middle ground between, I'm not buying entry level and compromising quality, but I'm not spending a lot of extra money for, like you said, things you don't really need but are nice luxuries, and they're great for those who can afford them and for who want them. But in this case, it sounds like that middle ground. You get everything you need and you want, but you're not. I mean, for $200 a month, that's a sweet deal.
Yeah, I mean, for the price of this camper, you're buying a brand new unit at a used price, and that happens all the time at Wade's RV just because of how big we are. Like I said, with how many units we buy, because we are such a large dealership, you can find everything you're looking for at Wade's RV. A lot of times people, when they're dealing with these smaller dealerships or, even these big dealerships, they just don't have a full line of different stuff. There's big dealerships here in town, and they only carry travel trailers and fifth wheels and maybe one line of motorhome. That's not giving you too much of a selection whenever you're looking around. So we really pride ourselves on having all of that in one spot. So it's a one-stop shop, not just for your unit, but if you need service, parts, anything like that, storage, we have it all for you. And with the trades, we have some really, really great trades out there. Like I said, we've gotten in some of those Class B motorhomes in on trade. I took that one out to the casino and camped a couple weeks ago, and we have one that it's a Sprinter. It's got 11,000 miles miles on it. Typically, this thing is going to be about $120,000 brand new. And with 11,000 miles, this thing is just getting broke in. You can pick it up right now for about $89,000. So tons of savings right there. And then you're not having to have the depreciation necessarily on some of those higher end products. And a lot of the times they have different accessories that the previous owner has put on there that you're not having to pay for.
Do you have the idle time up at wadesrv.com?
I don't know. Since it just came on the lot, I'm not sure if they have it up there. It should be in the next few days. If you want, you can get on the Facebook or Instagram. I have posted pictures and then all of the specifications for it, because we want you guys to know just as soon as we have stuff. A lot of the times those websites, they do take time to update. And so sometimes we're at the leisure of the actual website,
right?
Runners.
So I just Googled it to see what it's like, and it's kind of what you're thinking, that good middle ground. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious because I'm really interested in the fact that it's built in Oklahoma. So I looked up this place, Idle Time RVs, in Allen, Oklahoma.
Yes.
The closest name I can find to give you, if you're thinking, where is that? Not too far from Ada. Mm-hmm. So think south of here, southwest of Tulsa. It's a pretty good haul, but hey, it's right down the road.
It is. And one really cool thing that I forgot to mention, they actually do customizable RVs. So if you're looking for a very unique floor plan or you're wanting just something changed a little bit, they can make that happen for you. And it's a quick turnaround time. Typically, if I order an RV up from Indiana and I tell them, hey, I need a few things changed on it, it's a big process for one, but then it might take you up to 12 weeks or even more. So Allen Manufacturing, they're going to be able to get that stuff out to you in a timely manner, and they're going to be able to make your RVing dreams come true. A lot of times people, they've been RVing and they just have very specific uses for what they're using it for. We can make all of that stuff happen. So you just got to come in, start one of those order forms, and we'll get it all priced out, floor planned out, and everything like that.
One of the segments of RVing that really interests me, because I think it might be the way I would have the most fun with it, is not in a slip or plugged in somewhere, but literally off-road and just drive into the woods until the trees don't let me go any further. Is that kind of what this other one is about? Because you mentioned four-wheel drive and some lift and stuff, and I've talked about it on the show before. You might know about the Earth Roamer. I always think of that thing and how that segment of the business would be really fun for someone like me who's into four-wheelers and off-road.
Yeah, so the new Gallerias that are coming out, we've been waiting for quite a long time for them to come out with the four-wheel drive versions, and we have them. So each one of those that's coming out, we've talked about the travel trailers that are off-road ready. We got a couple different lines of those, but now with the Galleria, they all come with a 6-inch lift. So it's a really cool Class B van kind of style on that Sprinter chassis that you can take advantage of.
That'd be a lot of fun.
It's really, really awesome. And so we were waiting on those, and we have one sitting on the lot right now. And whenever that one's gone, we already have an order in for another one, but very, very soon I've heard from the manufacturers, it's actually going to be about a 9-month wait for that unit. So you got to make sure you come in and take advantage of that. And then we also have a couple different super rare kind of older motorhomes. We still have that 1977 that we talked about a couple weeks ago, but we also have this 1997 Fleetwood Pace Arrow, which is a gas rig. It has the dual axles on it, and it's only like 34 feet or so. Super rare. They actually have a driver door on these. If you look at modern RVs, you're not going to see any that actually have a driver's door you can get in and out of.
Why is that?
I really don't know the reason. I think it's just, it was more parts, it was more pieces, stuff like, if you already have one and then you have your emergency exits, how many doors do you really need? But there's very, very few that actually did that back in the day. This is one of them, and this is in the year ranges that they did that. It's dual axle. It has the nice driver door, but it's super, super nice throughout. A lot of the times these older motor coaches, they've just been sitting inside storage, or they've been sitting at grandma and grandpa's house underneath that carport. And so they're just almost like out of a museum. And that's exactly what this one is. It's got the upgraded storage doors. Like I said, the interior is like a museum. There's tons of different seating for your seatbelts, for your passengers and things like that. So it's a great deal, and it's only about $20,000. So really great deal you can take advantage of and get out there and start making memories with your family. A lot of folks, they just think, it's going to take so much money to do this, and that's not the case at all. A lot of the times for the same price that you pay for your cell phone bill, we can get you in a brand new RV.
Need to take a quick break. You're listening to Camping with Wade's RV on KARMG. I'm Skyler Cooper with Willie D. You can call them at 918-291-1011 or find them at wadesrv.com. If you have any questions for us, we have one segment left. You can text us 95920 or call 918-460-KRMG. We'll be right back. I think now is a good time to go camping for several reasons, because not only is it really nice outside, it's beautiful, but being away from everybody else might be the best place to be.
Yes, yeah. If you're looking for the real cure for the coronavirus, it's camping. So spread the word loud and proud. Camping is the cure for corona.
Spreading the word, not the virus.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes, of course. Yeah, get out, get secluded. That way you're away from people, and you can grab a couple Coronas to fight the coronavirus.
So in all seriousness, we'll have an update on what's happening in that world here in about 7-8 minutes with the news at the top of the hour. And we have the future of real estate with Daryl Baskin on the way in KRMG Home Pros later today. But before we wrap up with camping with Wade's RV today, we want to talk about your shop up there at 121st Street. We mention it from time to time. You guys, the Super Center is down there 161st. That's all the expanded stuff we were just talking about, and where the business has really grown huge. But you have a lot of important things that happen up there at the service center.
Yes.
With not only the actual, I know a lot of people go in there and do their work with maintenance and their repairs, those kind of things, and seasonal stuff that can change. What else goes on up there?
So it was really cool. I got to spend a lot of time up there at the other store this week. I was actually shooting a new commercial. So we have a lot of different elements that you can't find anywhere else at a RV dealership. It doesn't matter if they have 1, 2, 3 locations. You can't find it at all. So over there at the other store, we actually have that big lift that I'm always talking about. And I got to see that in action. I don't get to be over there all the time. So I get to see it from time to time. And every time it just takes my breath away. If you think about one of those giant buses, 45 foot long, getting lifted 6 foot up in the air where I can walk underneath it. That is quite incredible. That is a lot of weight to be lifted up. It's almost frightening whenever you walk underneath it. I
probably wouldn't want to do that.
No, it's it's kind of like the Grand Canyon. You look at it and you know it's there and you know it's happening right in front of you, but it's just surreal. So we have that lift over there. We also have the body shop. So if you do have body damage, paint damage, anything like that, we can get it handled. And then we have our big parts store as well. So if you're looking for parts, if you're looking for original manufactured parts, or if you're looking just for generic, sewer hoses, chemicals, hitches, anything, batteries even. If you need a battery for your car and you're over there by one of our stores, swing on in. We have those too. So we have lots of different stuff. And let's say you're coming in from a camping trip and you need to dump your sewer. We have sewer dumps at both locations. We have storage at both locations, and we can make sure you're taken care of. So lots of very, very cool stuff over there. And if you haven't gone over there and met the girls, they're a great team. Amanda keeps a tight shop over there. And then you have Jen and Casey over there as well, making sure to greet you whenever you first walk in. And one of my favorite features is in the wintertime, they usually have the fireplace going. So they have a real, and it's not a gas fireplace. It's a real fireplace with split wood. It's pretty cool. And we've talked about trades. Wade trades for firewood all the time. So in the winter, if you got firewood, you might want to bring that into the equation because we're always needing that at the other store. So pretty cool.
I've only ever been to the Super Center, but is the parts store probably much more expansive than the section over on the right?
Yeah, I would probably say it's 10 times the size of the one that we have at the Super Center. So it's a whole building dedicated only to parts. And Larry, he's over there manning that. And it's not just the fact that he has parts over there. He actually is a master certified technician. And so he knows about RVs. So if you're having a problem and you're looking for a part, he's going to be the guy that can tell you, hey, that might not be the problem. It might be this, and lead you in the right direction. So it really is cool with that. And a lot of the times people are wanting to just upgrade their RV that they have currently, and they absolutely can do that as well. So we talk about those solid steps, and we talk about LED lights and different innovations. Say you're looking for a Wi-Fi extender or something, go in there, tell them what your dreams are, and we can make it happen. Solar chargers and stuff like that. They didn't have that a couple years ago, but now you don't have to upgrade your total RV. You can just get those parts. But if you are looking to upgrade your RV, we have all of the different selection, and we can make it happen for you. It's really, really cool.
With a couple minutes left, remind us about some of the changes you mentioned earlier in the show. And if you missed the beginning of the show, go check out our podcast later on the KRMG app, and Willie D has the video up on YouTube later. But you have some new stuff in.
Yeah, so with our brands, not only do we expand on new and creative different brands that we want to bring into the Wade's RV family, but a lot of our brands that we have currently do have innovative changes changes on them. So I kind of went around and looked at a couple different changes that have been happening recently, and the Nord Trail has done a total redesign, not only from their logo, but the front cap, the actual furniture, the design itself, all of that. And one of my favorite things is those small little Aspen trails I take out all the time. They actually have power jacks on them. So you have power awnings, power jacks, and those are the ones that start at only $100 a month. It's really cool.
So if you have any questions about what you heard today, you can always get a hold of Wade's RV, 918-291-1011, or they find you online.
Yes, you can find us online, Facebook, Instagram, and especially YouTube. We got all of our content on there at Wade's RV. And if you come by the store, always ask for Willie D. I'd love to meet you. I know there's a lot of you guys that come out there, and make sure to say hello. I want to say hello too.
And if you call, tell them that Willie D is tired of living in boxes and he wants to stay in one office.
Yes. I love. Yes, it would be nice. I love my different offices, but I'm glad I'm getting back to my base roots. So hopefully I'll be one place eventually.
Camping with Wade's RV every Saturday at noon. Thanks for joining us today. And remember to text us at 95920. If you have any questions, we'll answer them when we can. This is 102.3 KRMG.
From the